It's Week 16 of the NFL, and all eyes are on the dual threat Lamar Jackson. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Ravens and the Browns, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
The rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. It is Week 16 in the NFL, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in playing pretty good football, winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, first down. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And right away, he lost the football. And one of the linebackers has got it. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, they got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So here are the Browns now with great starting field position. They will be led out by their dual-threat quarterback, the veteran from Clemson. It's Deshaun Watson.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And all the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford, 42 yards. And the Browns are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. They'll start out here with the option left. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. You look at this Browns defense. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
I just considered myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, The head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 57 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot, but what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Again, they turn to Ford, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. The Browns at 12-2 now on the year, and they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Off of play action, it's Watson. That he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. Well, these two teams met in Cleveland earlier in the year with the Browns coming out on top. So a win here in Baltimore would give them the season sweep. They run the option here on 1st and 10. Fighting his way through contact. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Deshaun Watson, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Browns have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. A quick throw there is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, but it'll be 2nd down. They come up with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter. You look at this Browns defense. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Jackson to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
That's taken on the 25. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard. He's going to try and duplicate that and exceed it in this game.
$14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The handoff to Ford up the middle. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Now Watson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, they had that one sniffed out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
On the ground, it's Ford. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield or man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
They'll try and run for it. Escapes the defender. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively, all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. I think that's a good example of why they've been successful this year. They're fearless on any down.
And it's interesting that this year I asked an NFL head coach about being fearless and going for it on 4th down, and he said, people have to understand, there's fearless and there's reckless. I try not to be reckless when I make a decision to go for it on 4th down. In this case, fearless wins.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Browns have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose. But you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
He'll buy some time right. The quick feet by Jackson. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Partner, everything that happened before that fumble was great. Good vision, navigated the open field, got good chunk yardage. At that point, if you see a defender coming, though, just step out of bounds. Don't risk all you picked up before the hit to just try and get an extra yard or two.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
161 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford on his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Browns are able to add on to their first-half lead. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Point after, right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Now this throw caught left side. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Jackson on first down. That's complete. It's Zay Flowers with it. He's to the 15. Touchdown. Zay Flowers, 63 yards. And the Ravens get a bit closer.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? Second quarter and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play, but sometimes it's okay to dream big because
I'm focusing on the fourth quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. This is Ford. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Now 2nd and 5.
They run with Ford. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
This now a 3rd and 4.
They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
239 yards rushing for him, as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
So we come upon halftime.
Well, we're in the latter stages of this season. Everybody's getting antsy, so antsy that we're going to skip the halftime and get ready for the third quarter.
Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3.
Taken at the goal line. Powering his way forward. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Ford. Runs through the contact.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as he's got this up to about the 34-yard line. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Well, always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season.
We'll taking it right down Broadway.
There he goes again. He may go.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Jerome Ford.
66 yards.
And the Browns come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. And that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
There he goes right side.
Now he's loose at the 40. Inside the 20.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 75 yards.
And the Ravens are able to cut into that deficit.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
This taken in right around the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Slot man moves right. On second down, it's Ford. The solid stiff arm. And now look at him go. And he is finally brought down at the Ravens' 29-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 43 yards on the ground. And I don't want to harp on it, but this defense among the bottom in the league against the run, and they show it right there.
And it doesn't matter when you get prepared for this defense, whether you're good running the ball or not, that's your plan. Run the ball against them. That's their weakness. And by the way, I think you harped on it.
Yeah, I did. My bad. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now.
Up the middle they go. It's Ford. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Jerome Ford, 15 yards.
And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway.
Inside the 20.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there.
His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. He might take this all the way. He will take this all the way. Touchdown, Cleveland. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Yeah, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
Extra point attempt to come here. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff.
And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 111 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 58 yards. And the Ravens get a bit closer. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And the lead is down to 20. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Oh, some strong running. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen. They see the blocks happen. They feel really good about their vision. And then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
There he goes left side. And all the way down to the 29. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
1 quarter remains here in Week 16. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. On first down, Ford. And that's just a solid, good physical run there as he motors for 9 yards.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Yeah, the Browns are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. As a nice run there, gets him down to the 6-yard line.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford with career touchdown number 70. And the Browns are on their way to a 13th win on the year as they add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And the Ravens taking the field.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Another pass attempt, another incompletion.
On second down, Jackson.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Jackson now.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And Jackson throwing once more. A short throw caught by Andrews. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Now he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Juan Thornhill. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Denzel Ward.
And the Browns are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line.
Well, just another reason to celebrate there on the defensive side with the interception, and this is a game that they clearly have firmly in their grasp.
Yeah, a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles. It's been their day.
They will start this drive with Ford. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford.
And he's going to have a Browns 1st down as he'll take this up to the 38-yard line. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd down now, it's Ford. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. Now a give right side. Ford pushing through the contact.
Oh, that's sweet.
What an effort. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, He's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Ford. Strong run, but still wrangled before reaching the 20. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Ford. And a hard-earned yard there as he ran through one would-be tackler. It's 2nd down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Browns, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they're guaranteed now a sub-500 season as they fall to 6-9. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports, and this one features Trevor Lawrence. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Jags and the Browns, and it's coming up next.
On the banks of the St. Johns River, there's a good look inside Everbank Stadium here in downtown Jacksonville. Today, Week 17 is upon us, and we've got a good one in store here, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jag. Just about time to rock as toe gets ready to meet leather. And off we go from Jacksonville. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. So here's the first drive now for the Jags.
They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
Well, the silver lining from last week, he played phenomenally. Kept the ball clean and led them to the end zone several times. You know these NFL quarterbacks, though. They trade away all those touchdowns if it meant getting the win. That's his focus this week.
They'll start on the ground, ETN.
And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
The numbers on the ground for ETN last week. 17 carries, 83 yards.
And they've already clinched a playoff berth, so I'm eager to see how they approach this game because some teams' philosophy is to go ahead and get guys out. Other teams' philosophy, continue to do what you're doing best. I expect them to go ahead and use their top guys all the way through this one.
He'll find ETN out of the backfield.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A big one there for the Jags, 18 yards, first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Another tote for ETN.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
If you look at this Browns defense,
they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
I was so proud of you in our meeting with the defensive coordinator because you asked the question that set him off. And all you said was,
and it's a fumble.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free. But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
And this one is right down the middle.
That also a career-long kick for the veteran, Charles.
Yeah, how about what he just got done there? We always knew he had a big leg, but how about everything coming together perfectly on that one? Great leg swing, and bang that one through.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
And he makes it so difficult for all defenses because when he's got the ball, it's hard to say when a play is truly over because he can create from any spot on the field and in any situation, even when it appears that he's contained. When he's running your offense, a big play could arrive from any possible spot.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
4 yards the pickup, first down. The Browns at 13-2 on the year, and they have certainly got it rolling as of late, winners of 6 in a row.
And I think this is where, as a head coach, you show your team some trust. Instead of just talking about winning, the very next game, you point out to them, we're on a nice run here, and if we keep doing this, we'll be playing at home in the postseason, and we know that that could ride us all the way to the Super Bowl if we get that done.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
Powerful running. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37.
Now a give right side. Ford. Unable to corral him. He fights through.
Down the sideline he goes.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Jerome Ford.
37 yards.
And the Browns have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get him 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
From midfield now, Lawrence.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. 20! A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards.
You can feel the effort all the way up here. He tried his best to get there. Didn't quite make it, but down around the 2-3 yard line, got to love the effort.
Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Evan Ingram with touchdown number 8 on the year.
And the Jags have regained the lead. Groupie able to add the PAT.
And the lead is now 10-7. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And Evan Ingram able to finish it off with a touchdown reception. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. Breaks through the contact. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. A strong running.
82 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
We always talk about, we always look for guys with fresh legs down the stretch of a long NFL season. Well, in Week 16, he was the AFC Player of the Week, and looks like he's going to be strong for Week 17 as well.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. For a lot of people, the MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game too.
Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford. Oh, and now some space to operate. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That good for 22 and a first down.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Now a give, right side. Ford. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score.
2nd and 3 from the 9.
Draw play to Ford. Powers through. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but...
And he's in. Touchdown, Browns.
Jerome Ford with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Browns have taken the lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 14-10. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again.
The long drive last time out for this offense, Charles, if you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Denzel Ward.
And the Browns are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. So that a definite deflator there on the interception.
Yeah, you work your way down the field thinking you're in position for a go-ahead score, but all it takes is one errant throw, and this one winds up a turnover.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Up the middle they go. It's Ford, and he is going to have a Browns first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Watson on first down. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And they will get the first down here as they move into field goal range as well, inside the 25. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. So we have come upon halftime here in Week 17.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
On 2nd down, it's Ford.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made at about the 38.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
He finds some way to turn this into positive yardage as he struggles forward for a pickup of about 2.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Wow, and even 200 yards rushing for him now in the afternoon as he just continues to pummel this defense.
They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Now it's Watson sliding out of the pocket. Busts through the tackle. And some good, tough running, but he's still going to be stopped about a yard short. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down. Look at this, a tight end carry. And they can't bring him down. And down inside the 15 he goes. That one good for 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. First down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll run on first down. It's Ford, and he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Now keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Ford is in. Touchdown, Cleveland. What a game it's been for him in the backfield, Charles, as he pounds it into the end zone yet again.
Yeah, and he hits the end zone one more time, and his blockers cleared all those lanes. Before the snap, they called for the heavy unit, right? 3 tight ends coming on the field, and they got the job done clearing the way.
Point after, right down the middle, and that makes it a 21-10 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2.
They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. So now it's a 2-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realized what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that could make this a 3-possession game.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action from Jacksonville. Now Lawrence.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Lawrence will throw.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th.
All right, let's go.
Here we go. Gotta have it. Lawrence.
And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. The Jags come up empty on 4th down, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. On 1st down, Ford. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Jerome Ford.
A 9-yard touchdown run.
And the Browns extend their 4th quarter lead, and they are closing in now on a 14-win campaign.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 18 now. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And this offense on third down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN.
And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
And they'll try and throw for it with Lawrence.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. He'll drop that underneath to ETN.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Now, you don't want to see that penalty at any point, but it adds a little extra to it when it comes on 3rd down.
It certainly does, because if this were a boxing match, they had them on the ropes there. 3rd down incompletion, 4th down upcoming. Instead, that mistake resets everything back to 1st down, which means they have to stay on the field longer to try and stop this drive.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Again, it's Lawrence.
And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
On 1st down, Lawrence. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
And that is incomplete. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down.
Hey. Here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. The Browns' drive about to get started.
Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
On 2nd down now. It's Ford. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run.
Now he's loose again. He's on his way.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Jerome Ford
With career touchdown number 75.
And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on fourth down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a fourth down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. Fourth down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Lawrence. Oh, and that is incomplete.
The Jags come up empty on fourth down, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
The Browns set and ready to go on offense. And they hope to polish things off, and what a run they are on as they try to turn a 6-game win streak into a 7-game win streak. Down to about the 37.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
They'll keep it on the ground. Ford, fighting off the defender. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
They'll run on first down. It's Ford, able to power through. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. Throwing now, Watson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Yeah, the touchdown apparently wasn't enough. They're going to go for the onside kick here. And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now Lawrence to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. So a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Now Lawrence. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
A final shot now for Lawrence. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Cleveland,
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And the spotlight is on Justin Herbert. He's gone over 4,000 yards passing now for the year. It's the Chargers and the Browns next on Madden NFL 24.
From the second largest city in the U.S., Los Angeles, California, we've got football as EA Sports coverage of the NFL is on the air. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the L.A. Chargers.
Hi, everybody. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they come in off another victory a weekend ago. That ran their win streak up to 7 now.
And I think that win last week established them as Super Bowl frontrunners. They're playing with confidence and swagger, and you need that to go a long way.
Get strapped in. It's just about time to get the party started. And we are underway here in Los Angeles. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020. The man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Here's Mitchell now to kick off the drive. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30. We look at this Browns defense.
They were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
They held them to well under 200 yards of total offense. That's a number you can really focus on, too, because the way offenses run in today's game.
Down the numbers. There he goes.
Inside the 20.
Touchdown, L.A.
Mitchell with his 14th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Chargers go down the field in just 2 plays to take the early lead.
Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. Well, week 18, this is just when you hope everybody can get through the regular season healthy, but the medical staff is going to have to take a look here, and we'll step aside. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 24. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Now a handoff up the middle. Ford. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
To throw is Watson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game. Offense.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
And boy, down a touchdown already, but they're going to line up to go for it on their side of the field. They will indeed snap it to Watson. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And that will force a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter? I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. That is incomplete.
You look at this Browns defense.
They were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
Justin Herbert looking to throw on 2nd down. To the right side, and he's got more complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Well, this defense for the Browns, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you feel like you can. And when you look at this team, you definitely think that it is, because anytime you can tell your offense, just get us a couple of touchdowns, we got this thing locked down, that's when you know you're playing well.
Herbert on 3rd down now. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Chargers first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Now they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
Right back to Mitchell on 2nd down.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
3rd and 2.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. Touchdown, Chargers! Josh Palmer with touchdown number 8 on the year.
And the Chargers are off to a 13-0 first-quarter lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled it to 20.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Now a give right side. Ford. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Up the middle they go. It's Ford, and able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and less than a yard.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up.
A solid gain of 7 yards that time on the keeper and a first down.
The Browns had 14-2 heading into this final week, and they come in on the heels of yet another victory. That ran their win streak, Charles, up to 7 now.
And I think that last win, that established.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 58 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Gosh, when you've got Deshaun Watson, Charles, executing a run-pass option, that puts the defense in a tough spot, does it not?
It does, and what I liked is that you called me this week, watching your own video, your own tape, and you said, I think the runner's going to pop a few this week because of what we've seen from Deshaun Watson. His ability to get to the corner, that's where the focus will go.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Ford. And he's able to push his way forward somehow for a gain of about 2 yards. 2nd down now. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Jerome Ford
taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Browns have cut it back within a score.
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles.
And there, of course, was a lot of talk about this ball game coming into play. Two division leaders in the AFC. Could this be a potential playoff preview down the line?
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about the talk about this game coming into play, you're talking about me because I blew up your phone all week prior to this one. I was so excited about this game because to me, it's not out of the realm of possibility that these two teams see each other again down the road. I like this matchup. They match up very well against each other.
I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
And he's across the 45. It'll be second down.
Holding offense.
That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. It's rare that a receiver of his caliber would drop one pass, but that's now 2 times he's had his mitts on one and lost it.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to lose confidence in him, though, because of the track record. Such a good player, maybe having a bad game, but I think they'll still go to him in a critical spot. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 99 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. Herbert setting up to throw on first down.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
First down, here's Mitchell.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
Here's 2nd and 2 now from the 3.
Now it's Herbert. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That one was thrown into the end zone, and when they made a play on the ball, it was actually tipped up in the air, and that's not ideal for anyone on defense because what you're ordinarily taught is to knock the ball down towards the ground, almost like a volleyball player coming over the top and spiking it. to make sure that the offensive guys can't catch it on the rebound.
And this one is right through. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Watson now to throw. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Facing second and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
And now this throw incomplete, and that is how this first half will come to an end. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin in the AFC. Baltimore paying a visit to Nashville to take on Tennessee. And it's the Titans with the lead in the second quarter of play. Traylon Burks, a touchdown reception. Next, we head off to check out another game. And that game has gone to halftime with the visiting Texans out on top. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 2 touchdown catches in that first half alone. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. Joe Burrow has thrown a touchdown pass. It was a running back, Elijah Mitchell, who stood out in that first half. He's already over 100 yards rushing for the game and has a touchdown run as well. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. These two teams running through their final adjustments before they head back out of the tunnel. And for the call of the second half, let's go back to SoFi Stadium and Brandon Gott.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result had he opted for the touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives, try and slow things down a little bit.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made just shy of the 40. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
They'll come up 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford, and very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. Good sizable run there by Deshaun Watson on the RPO.
That's in his DNA as a quarterback. He's been doing that since high school. He understands the RPO game as well as any quarterback in the league, and he makes excellent decisions. And when he takes off and goes, his team's pretty happy about it.
121 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a give right side. Ford. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Now a give right side. It's Ford. He showed some tough running, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The slot man in motion right. From the gun, they'll try to run it. A good display of power, but ultimately it gets him just inside the 5 to the 4 and no further. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage.
And he takes this one in for a Brown score.
Jerome Ford.
He has career touchdown number 78, tying in with both Eddie George and Frank Gifford on the all-time list.
And the Browns have got it back to within a score.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score.
Herbert has it knocked free.
And this is picked up by the Browns. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
So that play, I mean, it was pretty well blown up from the start, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, and when you're running the option like that as a quarterback, you have so many different keys and reads to make that sometimes as you're making them, you're not protecting the ball the way you should, and it gets popped free.
Able to break through that initial contact and winds up getting about 3 there. It's 2nd down.
2nd and 7 from the 20.
They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Jerome Ford.
A 9-yard touchdown run.
And the Browns have taken the lead here in the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will make this a 4-point game. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Looking up into the roof, and he muffs it. It's loose. The Charger drive about to get going. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
Here's Herbert. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. And now for him on the season, that is his 80th catch, and the result is a first down. Back to throw here, Herbert. That's again complete to Palmer. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down. Up the middle, here's Mitchell. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Right back to Mitchell on 2nd down. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. They lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this one is no good. He missed it. And that will keep this a 4-point game. Well, just kicking a field goal there, that's a decision that could be open to second guessing. You know, you're trying to get back within a field goal, but it didn't work out as planned.
And now you're banking on your defense to be motivated enough to get out there and get the ball back for you. I think if that ball goes through the post, the defense is naturally motivated, even elevated in their mission. Now they've got to find a way to dig down deep and get it done.
On 1st down, it's Ford. And he pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Back to throw, Watson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly. But that time, it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. Now this is just the last thing you want to see in the final week of the regular season. Well, I hope he's okay. We'll step aside and be right back. Herbert throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down.
Where will the pressure come from? 4th and 6 now.
They snap it to Herbert. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And now this ball picked up by the offense. But here in the final 2 minutes of the game, this will be blown dead. Only the fumbler can advance the football. So this will go back to the spot of the fumble itself. We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down.
Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. Fighting through it. He's got space.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Ford. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? You just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
It's a pickup of 13, and with that 13 yards, this ball game just about over.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead.
Madden football brings you the divisional round of the NFL.
For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
The KC offense set to go, led as always by the gunslinger, a former MVP in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes.
And it wasn't really his best performance of the year in the wild card round last week. He just had the one touchdown pass, but he got the job done and his team advanced. For them to continue on to the championship round, though, I think he's going to need to take a few more chances with the ball downfield, push it a little bit more, and make sure his team finds its way into the end zone a few more times.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Well, following the play now, they're going to stop the clock here as a man is shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Pass incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now it's Mahomes again. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So, Charles, this a defense that hasn't made a lot of mistakes like this on the road to this playoff matchup, but that a bad one there.
Yeah, you definitely want to rattle and shake up the other quarterback, but you know you've got to do it the right way. Otherwise, that cloth's going to be on the ground.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Mahomes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and you didn't knock the ball free, your coaches are upset with you. All right, so if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back into youth leagues. Take care of the ball, take care of the ball, take care of the ball, because here come the defenders.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Watson.
And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48.
Here's Pacheco to begin the drive.
And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Mahomes going to throw.
And this one's going to sail on him a bit, and it's incomplete.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Mahomes now to throw. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's fourth.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense.
A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us? No luck, just pure skill. We rose to the challenge, and we didn't permit a score. That's how we roll.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Charles, if they might temper their aggressiveness now offensively if they get in that fourth down spot again.
Yeah, one would think so, but maybe because they held them, they might go for it again.
Throwing on third down, Watson. They'll roll him out right. And that will be incomplete.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on fourth down.
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out, and the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. Mahomes now on first down.
That's complete to Tony.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal. Now here's Mahomes. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
A run by Pacheco on second down.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
A big play forthcoming. Here's third and goal.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Flush to his right. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Patrick Mahomes taking it in from 11 yards out.
And the Chiefs are on the board first here in this division round matchup.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now a 7-0 game.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Again, they turn to Ford.
And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football. They'll come up now 3rd and 3 as they've got it as we resume action.
Now Watson.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Ford. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
It's interesting going into this game, there was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. On 3rd down, it's Ford, shreds the tackle, and he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker.
Partner, when you're not able to run the ball successfully, it really messes everything up for an offense because no longer are you setting the tone and dictating the game.
Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. But clearly that was a design play. I just don't know that it was the right design. I mean, your holder, to have him pick it up and kind of be the power guy trying to run through the middle, everything has to go right for that to work.
You mean you weren't relying on just great blocking to get him through? You kind of think maybe he can help make his own way if he's an actual running back instead of the holder? Yeah, I thought the same thing.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And yeah, I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. And that one on the rookie, Charles, maybe a little too overeager.
You know how many times we talk about the quarterback having to have a clock in his head and make sure the ball gets away before the rush gets there? When you're a pass rusher, you have to know when the ball is gone and make sure you don't hit the quarterback afterward. I know he's trying to make a play, but that time he ends up drawing the flag.
Now a 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. They overloaded that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. After the sack, things get a little tougher here. 3rd and long for Mahomes and the Chiefs. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the 1st down, even throwing the football.
With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And some space here. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 47 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Ford. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. 2nd quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. They'll run on 1st down. It's Ford, and he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Ford. Still going. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford, 48 yards. And the Browns are an extra point away from drawing level. Extra point right down the middle. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. Well, they would have gotten a conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Pulled in at the 24. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles as we just saw on that pickup.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. So it's on to halftime of this. Well, look around the NFL. We'll have to wait for postgame because we are moving right through halftime and on to the 3rd quarter. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Win or go home. That's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Still fighting for more. And it will be an excellent return here all the way down inside the 25-yard line. What a play. They'll start by running the option to the right. And he is going to lose yardage here. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now a give right side. It's Ford. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
Now during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. So still 14 yards to go. 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Ford pushing his way through. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 151 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
They'll try and run for it with Ford. And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Jerome Ford, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Browns have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And his pass incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Mahomes firing complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Mahomes hit. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. They have not gotten him going at all. Trying to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
Brought down by Willie Gay. 2nd down and 6 now. Watson now going to run the option right. A solid gain of 7 yards that time on the keeper and a first down.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
Yeah, he did not want to go down there as he carries tacklers for a solid gain of 9.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. 189 yards rushing for him now in the afternoon as he continues to put a hurt on this defense.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The handoff to Ford up the middle. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. On the ground, it's Ford. A pretty nice, strong run, but can't break away. Down just inside the 30. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
And he'll be taken down after a minimal pickup, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And this is a unit that needs to get in gear if they want to play for a conference championship next weekend. Down 7 here in the 4th, and a very critical drive upcoming. Second and here's Mahomes to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire
And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, 59 yards. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. Both these teams fighting for their playoff lives. All tied, 4th quarter as the kick is away here. This taken in at the goal line. And shoves him off at the 20. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. And as a fan of the NFL, not much more you could hope for in this divisional round matchup. Tie game, 4th quarter. A lot of these fans with their hearts in their throats waiting to see what happens here. And he's going to have a Browns first down as he'll get this up to about the 42. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along.
And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Shoves him aside. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. My, oh my, 237 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. This is Ford. Breaks a tackle. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. They run with Ford. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerome Ford saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Browns answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 21-14. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And this could be the defining moment of their season, all hyperbole aside. You're trailing here in the fourth quarter, the divisional round, and they need to come up with something as they get this drive started. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. He'll look to throw.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Misses yet again, and the struggles here, they look pretty uncharacteristic for him.
You're certainly right about that. Mechanics are the key right now. Feet, arm, not in sync at all. He ends up throwing that one past his receiver that's open.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return.
And out will come the offense as they take over.
Another opportunity now for the Browns offense. And this has been a tight game to this point. Of course, they usually are at this juncture of the playoffs. But with the lead in the football, the clock right now their friend as they try to book their spot in the conference championship next Sunday.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. It's 4th. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
And that's a great run, and this is when you've got a running back that feels like he needs to take over this football game. You're in the second half, you've got the lead, you're looking at moving on to the conference championship, and he's got to be saying, just keep giving me the ball, and I'll get us home.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. You'd have to think likely another running play. Second and 11. They'll try the left side. Ford. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Ford. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Deshaun Watson scoring on the keeper from 6 yards out.
And the Browns are drawing closer to a date in the AFC title game as they extend this fourth quarter lead.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead now up to 14. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback. Here comes Mahomes and the Chiefs. Down by 2 touchdowns. Just over a minute 40 to play. It's certainly a tough situation on the road, needing 2 scores to stay alive in the playoffs as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters, so I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Mahomes hit. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. At a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Jerome Ford.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Browns continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. Watson and that Browns offense going to stay out there, and they'll go for 2.
They'll try and run it here. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the 2-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in the 2-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Yeah, they did. It worked. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Mahomes. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Mahomes hit. He lost the football.
And now this ball picked up by the offense. But here in the final 2 minutes of the game, this will be blown dead. Only the fumbler can advance the football, so this will go back to the spot of the fumble itself. The Browns going to roll on as we say so long, everybody. Thanks for watching.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner